Welcome back guys to Movies Recaps. Today I'm going to describe the short movie Curve, released in the year 2021. On set of the movie we're shown a clip of a lady lying unconscious somewhere on the concrete floor. She has a bloodied finger and her shoes are red and dried blood. Still, she seems to be fairly undamaged considering her situation. Meanwhile we're shown the clips of high waves crashing to the beach. The crash makes a terrible shouting noise that echoes through the place the woman is in. The noise rings in her ears and finally wakes her up from her unaware state. At first sight she sees nothing but concrete. Confused she moves for the first time and finds herself in the most unpleasant position she could possibly be in. The woman is on the edge of a curved structure at a great altitude. Under the structure is a dark end of nothingness. Death is assured if she makes one wrong move and falls off the rim. As well as that the position she's in doesn't help her cause. Her left leg is folded under her body with no way to bring it out. When the woman first sees the rim she freaks out as expected. She tries to retreat, although the motion does nothing but slide her further below. Luckily for her, she doesn't fall off just yet, but it is pretty obvious that it's only an issue of time. The slide makes her left leg move upwards, hurting her greatly. In surplus her palms are scraped because of the rough and hard concrete. Her breath rises as she silently prays for her life, even albeit the chances of her durability are zero. Following that we see a full view of the structure she's stuck in, and it seems to be a hydropower plant. Even if she manages to get far from the edge, the vertical wall behind her won't allow her to escape. But the wall is the minimum of her concerns at the moment. As she curses the situation she's in, a loud horn blows from the empty below. The noise startles her and makes the fall even more grisly. She thinks for a moment and rationalizes that the noise must be because of the wind. The information assuages her a bit until a louder noise is heard seconds later. The woman looks at the sky in disappointment and lets out a cry. A few minutes later everything goes dead silent. The only thing she hears is her quick breathing and the thoughts in her head telling her to survive one way or the other. She knows that staying still will finally kill her. She also understands that moving might kill her instantly. Still, she's wanting to take the risk. After a few long breaths to shore herself down, she places her hands and right leg sturdily in the concrete and tries to turn herself around. The plan backfires when she slides better down and is now on the other edge of the curve. She holds herself down, attempt to remain calm. A few seconds and she eventually understands that she has to give up on trying to erect her leg. The one way for her to get away from the edge is to pull herself up in the accurate position she's in. But the slide has made her 10 times weaker. Her palms are now bleeding profusely after being scratched. She holds her right hand up and separates two fingers stuck simultaneously with blood. Following that she dries off the blood in her jacket so her palm wouldn't slide when she effort to go up again. Even the flow of drying is horribly grievous, but she endures it bravely. After that she blows on the ulcers, longing for a little bit of relief. Her blows are weak because she's afraid of making the wrong movements that will push her down to her death. After thinking the next move for a significant amount of time, she eventually puts her unhurt leg up. Her bloodied palms push the concrete curve down as she rises her body in a grievous arch of movement. Luckily for her the plan works this time and she makes some centimeters worth of improvement. The lady sighs in sedation and continues taking longer breaths to calm herself. Her palms are now almost senseless because of the pain. Still, she puts them up one by one and blows on them. She doesn't think much before making an analogous move again and rises further up. Finally the woman starts to hallucinate. She sees the blood prints on the curve below, but her body seems to be missing in her view. She looks at her palm and back to the blood printing and starts to hyperventilate. She is now far off away from the edge and behind her is an upright wall. It's obvious she cannot climb up in any condition. But in the moment of panic she doesn't intellectualize her next move and tries to climb again. She is soon met with the outcomes of her hastiness when she slides down a little. The fear makes her hallucinate more severely. She looks below and sees the prints of blood grow longer. She again tries to hold herself up but stops when she hears a high noise. On looking back at the prints she information that 2 more of them have been added. Now, her only choices are to either wait for unavoidable death or make a move and fall to her death faster. In her head, something tells her that if she keeps with what she was doing, she will undoubtedly survive. The incorrect motivation proves that her brain is failing to grab the severity of the situation. After all, in the how that she's in, she's not expected to think intelligibly. The only problem is that her will to survive might make her fall to her fate earlier than she await. When everyone else in her location would have quit by now, she valiantly puts her palm up and blows on it, getting ready to push herself up yet other time. In only a second she slides back down a few centimeters or more. The woman is in no position to lose the improvement she has made with much stimulant. Her fear starts to grow beside her hallucination. She looks back down at the prints for the third time only to information that they've grown extensively. Abruptly a screech echoes in the background. The lady measures the noise to her death calling her from the darkness below the edge. By now her palms are annihilated and she hardly has any skin left to be scratched. The sky noises at her torment and mocks her. But the lady doesn't seem to care. Soon it starts to rain heavily enhancing to her problems. She's hesitant if the odds are working versus her or helping her. The rain exponent end her pain by killing her sooner. Or it exponent hurt her more by destroying her hope of survival. Either way for the first few seconds she pleasured the droplets hitting her face. Even if it is for a little moment she feels at peace. Approximately as if the curve is her home and she has been living there as the beginning of time. But her consent doesn't last long when the water smoothes the surface and slides her down. The lady closes her eyes and clenches her teeth, still filled with the fire of survivorship. She lets out a high scream, but it doesn't compare to the thunderous of the clouds. Then she recalls she's wearing a chain necklace that exponent help her hold the curve for longer. She strongly grabs it around her wrist and pulls it off her neck. We see her hands slide down and Dante even with the chain on. It is obscure if she survived the event, but by the condition she was in, the result can be assumed. With most Panics films that rely on jump scares, this movie creates a horrifying atmosphere and makes you feel the panic and scare inside you with the character. The fans believe that the movie is great in every plan because it hooks the viewer's primitive human instincts. It is something from Incubus that makes people informed of the fear that they didn't know they had. That was all from the video. I wish you love it. Subscribe for more recaps like this and hit the like button to help the channel. If you like, you can share your opinion about the video in the comments.